All right. So I want to show you the trades I took today and also the strategy that has profited me $12,000 in 6 days. This has been a pretty good start to this challenge overall. If you're new to the channel, the challenge is 10K in payouts by the 30th. So we're making really good pace. I'm actually considering readjusting to 15K just because we're already more than halfway to a 10K payout. If we have another day, if we have basically 2 more winning days in a row, we can take a 10K payout already. Win rate is a little bit lower than I would like it to be, but also we have been using higher RR in our strategy. We have a 60% daily win rate so far, which is really what I'm looking at. We were 2 for 4 on the day today. After this big displacement move up, we created a 15-minute imbalance. We actually also created an hourly imbalance. And what I wanted to see, and the reason I lost my first 2 trades, was I really thought one of these indexes would take out this hourly high right here, putting it in SMT. So I thought I could get a little bit sneaky and try to catch the move up that would catch the SMT. So I took 2 low quality setups thinking that I could predict the market when I couldn't. So we lost 2 trades, but we made it back with 2 more trades that were in line with the bias. But basically what I saw coming into the day is we had a really big displacement move to the upside, creating an hourly imbalance. And one thing that I like to use, one thing I'm trying to think about when I'm entering a position is what is the market trying to do? And the market's only ever doing 4 things, but 2 of them that I'll cover right now is the market is either generating liquidity or it is taking liquidity. So when we look at a really big imbalance here, I marked out a 15-minute imbalance. I should have marked out this whole thing, but that's what I was looking at. I was looking at this 15-minute imbalance. But imbalances, so SIBIs and BISIs, fair value gaps, whatever you call it, they are liquidity voids. There's no liquidity inside of these imbalances because they are an imbalance of buyers to sellers. So whenever we see these imbalances get created, what we can expect the market to do is retrace and accumulate inside of this range to create future draws on liquidity. So that was kind of what my bias was after the macro open at 10 was I want to see movement down into this gap here where we can start to consolidate and create future liquidity. So those are my draws on liquidity were some of these resting because we had generated a lot of sell side liquidity prior to. And also we were continuously generating a bunch of liquidity up here as well. But what I ended up taking my entries on for my winning trades, you can see right here, it is these 2. I took them both on NASDAQ. It was a 2.6R and a 3.4R. So we started creating lower highs and lower lows on ES and NASDAQ. And we put in an SMT at about 1045 here, where we have this SIBI right here on the 1 minute. And if we look at this SIBI on ES, we run through it and we take out this high at 1026. And if we look on NASDAQ, NASDAQ does not break out of this range and does not take out the high. And a lot of people will say that you should be shorting or you should be taking your trade on the lagging index. Again, to each their own, but I honestly prefer to take my trade on the leading index where you see that NASDAQ is creating a lower high, ES created a higher high. I like to take my trades on the leading index because it gives me a definitive place to put my stop loss because I'm only ever wrong if we invalidate the SMT. My trade either hits take profit or the SMT gets invalidated, and I was wrong about the stronger draw on liquidity. So what did I think price would want to do? I figured that price would want to take all this generated sell side liquidity and also tap into consequent encroachment of this bigger time frame imbalance that we created on the 15-minute. So what did I enter on? I entered prematurely anticipating this fair value gap to get inversed. I entered at consequent encroachment of this SIBI after this SMT was put in. I ended up adding contracts once we created a change in the state. And then I took partials at this point here and I let this trade. I forget where I trailed off. I have this recorded live. I'm going to play it at the end of the video. I think maybe I just took this move here. But this was what I had charted out and it's where my take profit initially was. But I think I did bail out of this trade a little bit early. Same thing with the next trade. But because I lost a couple trades earlier in the day, I wanted to make a bit more of my money back. I actually started the day down $1,000. So at this point, I was in the green 300. It was, again, so what did I risk on the trade? I couldn't remember exactly. It's all recorded. You'll be able to see it. But after I finished this trade and I saw us rebalance, I imagined that we would revisit this change of the state because price will frequently revisit points like that. So we revisit the change of the state and also put in another SMT. If you look here at 1017, ES breaks out of this 2-minute SIBI right here, takes out this high, ES fails, or NASDAQ fails to do so. And I end up entering on this 1-minute change in the state of delivery. Again, stops at the top of this SMT. I basically just copy and pasted my entry. I wanted to ride this one down a little bit further, but you'll see in the video, I ended up taking profits right here. So we ended up taking, it was a little bit more than 2R because of how I scaled my contracts. But again, as far as what my strategy is, my strategy is as such. Liquidity sweep plus SMT, and then I look for IFVG, CISD, and then a clear draw on liquidity. This is what my strategy is, right? So if you look, an SMT pairs as a liquidity sweep because ES sweeps these highs, right? Filling institutional sell orders, but NASDAQ doesn't do that, right? So it's telling us the narrative. That's why I like my strategy, because there's logic behind it. It's not I just see a fair value gap get inversed and I go, oh, pattern recognition, I'm going to sell. No, it gives me, oh, another thing too. Sorry. Let me put this up here. A couple like tidbits is equilibrium of our range. So when I looked at this big displacement move up, right, if we look at where we're at for our opening range, right, we are very high into a premium. So that's another thing that price is going to want to do. It's going to want to rebalance towards equilibrium. So I had a feeling that we were very displaced to the upside and price would want to come down. So that was another reason I took this trade, is because we were at a premium. So I look for that liquidity sweep to get put in, and then we inverse this small fair value gap. We have a change in the state, and we have tons of draws on liquidity to the sell side, as marked here, here, here. There's a ton of liquidity resting to the sell side, and that's how I take my entries. Sometimes I'm a little bit premature in entering, which is why my win rate isn't perfect, but the P&L speaks for itself. We're up $12,000 in 5 days on 3 accounts, or excuse me, on 6 days, 5 days. 1, 2, 3 in 5 days. So another thing that I like to think about is like, what if I was on 150K accounts, right? Well, I'd be using 3 times the risk, so I'd make 3 times the profit. So I'd be up 12,000 over 5 accounts. So that's just the scalability of what I'm looking at as far as this strategy goes. Or as far as this challenge goes, like I'm really confident that I'll be scaling to $20, $30, $40, $50,000 months very soon. I predicted that I'd be doing well in this challenge. I have a video that I pre-recorded. I haven't watched it since I recorded it, but it's basically me predicting the future with my trading. Again, 6 days in, $4,000 profit on a 50K account. That's what, 9% in 5 days. So again, we're on a pretty good run, and I'm not saying that, I'm the greatest trader or anything like that, but my strategy does work, and it has been working consistently on this channel. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play the live footage of this trade, of these trades that I took. I'm not including the losing trades because they're not fun to watch. It's just my idea getting invalidated. And also the trades I took earlier were very low quality setups. It was me essentially forcing a trade. I wanted to see this high get taken out to put in an SMT, so I thought I could get sneaky and put that in there. But I'm going to play the live footage from earlier today. All right, SMT at the highs, accumulated for a little bit. Turtle soup to the highs, NASDAQ being pretty respectful of consequent encroachment. I want to see a change in the state to the sell side. I entered a little bit prematurely off of a limit order at consequent encroachment. And then this is looking good. Once we get a change in the state, I'm going to max out the position. Actually, I might prematurely do that. But there's a ton of sell side liquidity that I want to see us take out, so I'll probably close partial here. So I actually probably should bounce in. Changing the state on NASDAQ and on ES. Had a pretty rough day so far. So I've taken 2 trades. They were both similar ideas, but they just got invalidated. SMTs didn't hold. And I think here we'll go sell 15 or buy 15. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever, all right, we'll just close there. That's fine, I guess. And then we'll go market sell. I hit market sell, that's fine. We'll go market sell 15. And then we'll let these run here. And then we'll go limit buy 10 is what we want it to do. Oh, wow. Okay, we're just going to close it here. In the green, 500 on the day. Potentially going to be re-entering short. We created a liquidity void with this SIBI, and if we get a change in the state to the downside, I'll be taking a short on NASDAQ with my stops at the highs from the SMT, riding a 2.6R down to this liquidity void, which is a BISI, but I don't think we're going to get this change in the state quite yet. So going to be waiting a little bit before we re-enter. Successful change in the state. Let's start with 15, see how much that risks. All right, yeah, that's about what I want to risk on this trade. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't work unless this, I mean, if this SMT gets invalidated, then we were just wrong about where the draw is on liquidity. But we've already taken out so much buy side liquidity, it just makes sense that we would want to continue lower. We are going to go break even just because that is a bullish SMT. Even though, again, lower time frame, we are going to go break even on that because that could invalidate this SMT up here. This is a good spot to add to this position because the draw on liquidity hasn't been met. Yeah, I think we're going to add here.
Order filled.
And then we'll just go break even. But we're just not really able to get a strong close. Again, this is the inefficiency of fair value gaps here that we're seeing, because these are liquidity voids. So we have to accumulate within these ranges to create liquidity. That's the displacement move that we're looking for. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How much is this? It would be 1,100. I'm just going to put full TP at 1,100. Again, it could run for a little bit, but I will take a $1,500 or $1,400 day over 3 accounts. Hit my TP, please. Great. There we go. And again, I'm sure we continue lower, but I mean, realized P&L of $1,500. Let's look at our accounts really quick. You know, pretty happy about that. And now I'm off the charts for the day.